Well, hello there. It's Coach Dana, and today we are looking at a beginner's guide to financial freedom through real estate, and we are in chapter 8. We're almost done. So, this chapter is about bidding to win. Now, we established what our goal was going to be. If you are going to keep the property as a rental, what's that amount that you want to make sure that you are going to receive every single month? Is it $300? Is it $600? Is it 1,000? Is it 1,500? How much is it? And then if you're going to flip the property, what's that dollar amount? Are you going to set out for $50,000? $30,000, $100,000? What is that dollar amount? Because you're going to want to make sure that you've established that amount because you don't want your emotions to show up. And I promise you, if you don't identify the fact that we are emotional creatures, that your emotions are going to show up. So we're going to check our emotions at the door and we're going to lead with the numbers. That's why it's so critical that you run your numbers so that you bid the right price. And we've talked about making sure that you bid right because if you pay too much for the property, it's very hard to make the numbers work and it's very hard to make a profit if you spend too much at the beginning. So when we think about bidding, you're going to go ahead and find your property, then you're going to run your numbers, and then if you're like, okay, if I offer X amount, then this would be a good deal. So when your agent comes to you with how much this property is listed for, let's say it's listed for $100,000, and you run your numbers and you're like, with my numbers, I really need to get this property at $75,000. That's why it's so critical that your real estate agent is investor friendly so that he or she knows how this works. Like when a real estate agent is working with a first time home buyer or someone who's going to occupy the property, that offer could look very different. That house doesn't need to be remodeled, it doesn't need the kitchen to be renovated. So it's a very different offer. That's why it's important to make sure that your real estate agent is investor friendly so that he or she knows it's all about the numbers. So when that agent comes to you with that property that's listed for $100,000 and you want to offer 75,000, they don't look at you with the side eye. So you're going to find the deal, bid on the property based off of your numbers, and then what will happen? Either they will accept your offer and say, okay, you got it, we're accepting your offer, or they could counter your offer. So let's say with that same example, you bid 75,000 and well, if the numbers work at 75,000, you probably are going to want to bid something like 60,000 because that same house it's listed for 100, you bid 60, but your numbers will let you go up to 75,000. So when you place that offer for 60, if they counter with 85, then you can go up a little bit, right? You can go up to 65 or you can go up to 70. So you go back and forth with counter offers and you would need to land at your $75,000 or less in order for it to be a good deal for you. If you can't land on 75,000 or whatever that number happens to be, then our emotions are at the door and we have to walk away from that deal. So you see how your emotions can show up. Just think, have you ever been to an auction? My church has a dessert auction every single year. And what happens? People get emotional. Some of those desserts go for crazy amounts. Why? Because number one, it's for a good cause. And number two, people get in their emotions. So I don't want that to happen to you when it comes to real estate. So make sure you check your emotions at the door and lead with the numbers. I'm Dana. I hope that you found this helpful. If you're like, man, I am ready to go. You have provided me with such good information. I'm ready to get on your calendar. I'm ready to start investing in real estate. Go to bookdanaspencer.com, bookdanaspencer.com. Let's have a 15-minute conversation. Let's go over your goals and let's get you started investing in real estate. Once again, that's bookdanaspencer.com. Until next time, let's bid to win.